We're counting down the top 10 hidden hazards in the Appalachian backcountry. The surface of these mountains looks calm. You see green trees, quiet creeks, and old trails. It feels like a walk in the park. Yet the ground, the water, and the history underneath are often working against you. Some of these traps move fast, some wait for years, and some are invisible until you step right into them. The list covers the things that don't look dangerous: a flat patch of leaves, a small stream, a pretty orange trickle. The gap between what you see and what is actually there is the whole point. The number one spot goes to a hazard that is completely silent. It has no smell. It has no sound. It can sit in a hollow for decades, and it changes the air itself. Let's begin with number 10. Fact number 10, stream crossings that pin you. A creek crossing looks like the easiest part of a hike. The water might be calf deep. The bottom looks like smooth stone. It seems simple. Just step across and keep moving. But mountain water works differently than flat water. Here's the thing. Rain falls on steep slopes. Gravity pulls it down fast. So the water in that creek is not just sitting there. It is moving with serious force. A cubic foot of water weighs over 60 pounds. That is heavy. When that weight moves at speed, it acts like a solid wall. The penalty for missing that is a sudden slide. You step on a rock. The current pushes your boot. The rock is slick with algae. Your foot slips. Then you go down. And that is where the real trouble starts. The water pushes against your whole body. It can pin a leg between rocks. It can roll you over. It can hold you down even in shallow depth. Search and rescue teams see this pattern constantly. A person underestimates the flow. They think, it's just a creek. Then the creek acts like a river. It gets crazier when the rain is fresh. A localized storm can swell a creek in minutes. The water rises. The color turns muddy. The sound gets louder. And the debris starts moving. Logs and branches float down. Those add impact to the push. The payoff is realizing that a crossing is a mechanical problem. It is force versus friction. If the force wins, you lose your footing. This hazard remains active right now. Every storm resets the trap. So a crossing that was safe last week might be a no-go today. The rocks shift, the channel changes, and the water keeps pushing hour after hour. Fact number 9, soil slumps that turn liquid. A flat patch of ground in the woods feels like a relief. You've been climbing a steep grade. Then you see a level shelf. It looks like a perfect spot to rest or set a tent. The leaves are dry. The trees look straight. Yet in many hollows, that flat ground is a lie. It might be old fill dirt from a road cut, or it might be a natural slump zone. This happens when a layer of soil sits on top of wet rock or clay. The ground looks solid, but underneath, water is doing the work. It lubricates the layer between the dirt and the bedrock. The soil becomes like heavy paste. It wants to slide downhill. It just needs a trigger. That trigger is usually rain. Water adds weight to the soil. It also makes the slip layer slicker, so the whole shelf starts to move. It moves slowly at first. You might not see it, then it speeds up. The wild part is how quiet it is. The ground just gives way. Trees can ride the slide down, standing upright for a while. Then the roots snap. The earth folds over. If you are on that shelf, the ground disappears from under your feet. Geologists call this mass wasting. It sounds technical, but the result is simple. The mountain tries to flatten itself out. And it happens often. Appalachia is full of these zones. The penalty for not knowing this is trusting the ground too much. A bench on a slope is often there because the land already slid once, so it is primed to slide again. The stakes are real today. You can see tilted trees on these slopes. That is a clue. The soil is moving, just very slowly, until the rain hits hard. Then the slow creep turns into a fast slide, and gravity takes over. Fact number 8, rock cuts that don't settle. A trail cut into a hillside looks like a clean man-made notch. The wall on the uphill side looks like solid rock. It feels permanent, like a stone hallway. But that rock face is under constant attack. Winter is the enemy here. Water seeps into tiny cracks in the stone during the day. Then the temperature drops at night. The water freezes. Ice takes up more space than water, so the ice pushes the crack open a little wider. This is called frost wedging. It acts like a slow-motion chisel. The cycle repeats dozens of times a winter. Freeze, thaw, push, crack. Eventually, a block of stone breaks free. The crazy part is the timing. It doesn't always fall during the storm. It often falls when the sun comes out. The ice melts. The glue holding the rock is gone. Then gravity wins. A fist-sized rock falling 20 feet builds up speed. It bounces, it spins, it can hit with the force of a hammer, and the sound is the only warning. You might hear a pop, then a clatter. Rangers and trail crews deal with this every spring. They clear the piles, but they can't stop the process. The rock wall acts like a shelf of stacked plates. If you pull one out, the others shift. The reward is looking at those cuts differently. They are not static walls. They are active erosion zones. You can see the fresh scars on the stone. You can see the rubble at the bottom. That rubble is not just trash. It is evidence. And it is still happening right now. The mountain is slowly taking back the cut, one rock at a time. Fact number 7, old roads that act like drains. You see an old path heading off into the brush. It looks wide. It looks flat. It looks like a great shortcut. Many of these are old logging grades. They were built to haul heavy timber out of the woods, but they were never built to last forever. Here's the gap. A modern road has a crown. It sheds water to the sides. These old grades are often just cuts in the dirt, so when it rains, the road becomes the creek. Water follows the path of least resistance. It flows down the tire ruts. It eats away the dirt. This creates deep channels. Some are hidden by tall grass. Some are covered by leaves. The result is a hidden ankle trap. You step on what looks like flat ground. Your foot drops into a washed-out rut. The rut might be a foot deep. Your momentum carries you forward. Your ankle twists. It happens fast, and it happens in places that look safe. The payoff is realizing that a road is not always a road. In the backcountry, it is often a drain. The water wears it down season after season. The sides get steeper. The mud gets deeper. And the danger is not just twisting an ankle. It is losing time. A shortcut that turns into a mud pit slows you down. Daylight fades. The temperature drops. Suddenly a simple hike becomes a problem. These grades are everywhere in the mountains. They crisscross the ridges. They look inviting. But they are decaying infrastructure. The forest is reclaiming them, but the water gets there first. So the ground is uneven, unstable, and waiting for a careless step. Fact number 6, earth dams that hide. Upstream. A calm pond in the woods feels like a discovery. The water is still. Frogs are singing. It looks peaceful. But many of these ponds are not natural. They are held back by small earth dams. Farmers built them decades ago for livestock. Or they were built for small mills. The dams are just piles of dirt and rock, and nobody has fixed them in 50 years. Trees grow on the dam wall. Their roots push through the dirt. The roots rot. Water seeps through the holes. Then a big storm hits. The pond fills up fast. The water spills over the top. Dirt washes away. The wall weakens. Then it blows out. The result is a sudden surge of water downstream. It gets wilder because you might be hiking below the pond. You don't even know it's there. The trees block the view. The terrain hides the water. Then the creek below rises instantly. It is not a flood from rain. It is a flood from a failure. Debris flows are part of this. The water picks up mud, rocks, and trees. It turns into a battering ram. State engineers inspect the big dams, but thousands of small private ones are off the radar. They sit there, holding back tons of water. The stakes are real. The dam is a time bomb made of mud. It waits for the wrong weather pattern, and when it goes fast. The quiet pond becomes a violent event. So if you see a flat, unnatural berm in a valley, pay attention. It might be holding back a lot of weight. Fact number 5, acid seeps that paint the rocks. You are walking along a creek. The water is clear. Then you see a trickle entering from the side. The bottom of the trickle is bright orange. It looks like rust paint. This is acid mine drainage. It is a chemical reaction happening underground. Water flows through old coal mines. It touches rock that has iron sulfide in it. That mineral is also called fool's gold. The water reacts with the rock in the air. It creates sulfuric acid and dissolved iron. When it comes out of the ground, the iron turns solid again. That's the orange sludge. But the color is not the physical danger. The texture is. That orange slime coats everything. It covers the rocks in the stream bed, it covers the logs, and it is slicker than ice. You step on an orange rock. Your boot finds zero grip. You go down hard. The impact on rock is bad. Falling into acidic water is worse. It's not strong enough to burn skin instantly, but it's nasty stuff. The wild part is where it comes from. The mine might be miles away. The water travels through cracks and tunnels. It brings the pollution to the surface in a totally different spot. Agencies monitor these sites. They build treatment systems. But new seeps can pop up. Old seals break. Water finds a new path. So the orange water keeps flowing. It changes the chemistry of the stream, and it changes the footing. It is a trap for the careless walker. The bright color is a warning sign. It says the ground here is chemical, not just natural. Fact number 4, karst ground that opens up. A patch of woods looks solid. Big trees are growing. The ground is covered in ferns. But in certain parts of Appalachia, the rock underneath is limestone. Limestone has a weakness. Rainwater dissolves it. Over thousands of years, the water eats away the rock. It creates caves. It creates cracks. It creates void spaces. This is called karst terrain. The danger is the roof. The soil sits on top of the rock. The rock has a hole in it. The soil bridges over the hole. Roots hold it together. It looks like normal ground. Then the bridge gets too thin, or the rain makes the soil too heavy. The bottom drops out. This creates a sinkhole. It happens instantly. 1 minute the ground is there. The next minute it is a pit. These pits can be deep, 10 feet, 20 feet, sometimes more. And the sides are steep. The dirt keeps crumbling in. It is hard to climb out. The crazy part is you can walk past one and never know. A depression in the leaves might be the only clue. A small hole might open into a huge cavern. Cavers know these areas well. They look for the signs, disappearing streams, sunken spots. But a hiker might just see a forest floor. The hazard remains today. The water is still dissolving the rock. The voids are still growing, so the ground is not as solid as it feels. It is a honeycomb, and sometimes the comb breaks. Fact number 3, abandoned wells hidden by decay. You find an old home site in a clearing. A stone chimney stands there. Some foundation rocks. It looks cool. History is right in front of you. But the most dangerous part of that home is often invisible. Every house needed water. That meant a well. Hand-dug wells are narrow and deep. When the house was abandoned, someone probably covered the well. They put some boards over it, maybe a large rock. That was 50 or 80 years ago. Wood rots, stone shifts, leaves fall every autumn. So now that well is just a hole covered by a thin layer of rotten wood and leaf litter. It looks like the rest of the forest floor. Maybe a slight dip. You step on it. The wood gives way. You drop. These wells can be 30, 40, 50 feet deep. The walls are lined with slick stone. The bottom might have bad air or water. It is a nightmare scenario. Counties try to find them. Landowners try to fill them. But records are lost. Nobody knows where they all are. The penalty for exploring old ruins is this hidden drop. The closer you get to the chimney, the closer you might be to the water source. And the cap is waiting to fail. So a grassy clearing is not just a field. It is a puzzle with missing pieces. And one of those pieces is a vertical shaft. Fact number 2, ridge fog that erases the trail. A ridge walk is the best part of the mountains. You are high up. The view goes forever. The trail is dry, but the ridge is also a weather magnet. Winds hit the mountain and get pushed up. The air cools as it rises. Cold air holds less water, so the water turns into a cloud. This happens fast. You can be in bright sun 1 minute. Then a white wall hits you. Visibility drops to 0. You can't see the next trail marker. You can't see the edge of the drop. And the wind picks up. The noise makes it hard to hear. This is the disorientation trap. In the whiteout, every tree looks the same. Every rock looks the same. People start to wander. They miss a turn. They step off the trail. Then the panic sets in. It gets crazier if lightning joins the party. Ridges are lightning rods. You are the tallest thing around. The storm creates a mix of blinding light and blinding fog. Search teams say this is a top reason people get lost. They didn't plan for the cloud. The mountain makes its own weather. It doesn't matter what the forecast said for the valley. The ridge is a different world. The stakes are immediate. You lose your direction. You lose your heat. Hypothermia can happen even in summer if you get wet and windy, so the pretty view is a temporary gift. The cloud is always waiting to take it back. Fact number 1, bad air vents from below. The number 1 hazard is the one you can't see, hear, or smell. Mining left thousands of openings in these mountains. Some are obvious caves, some are just cracks in the ground. And the earth breathes. Air moves in and out of these old mines. It depends on the pressure. Sometimes the air coming out is bad. It has no oxygen. It is full of carbon dioxide or nitrogen. Miners call it black damp. It is heavier than normal air, so it pools in low spots. It settles in pits. It flows out of holes like invisible water. You might stop to rest near a cool breeze coming from the ground. It feels nice on a hot day. But that breeze might be suffocating you. You don't choke, you just get tired. Your head spins, you feel weak. If you pass out, you fall into the bad air, and you don't wake up. This is rare, but it is real. State mine maps show the huge scale of this. Tunnels run for miles under the ridges. They connect to different valleys. So the air moves through a massive system, and it vents where it finds a hole. The crazy part is the contrast. You are outside. The trees are green. The sky is blue. You assume the air is fresh, but right at the ground level, near that opening, the chemistry is wrong. The hazard is still there today. The mines are still open underground. The air is still moving. So a hole in the ground is not just a trip hazard, it is a lung hazard. And it protects itself with silence. These 10 points show one clear truth. The Appalachian backcountry is not just scenery. It is a machine. Water pushes, gravity pulls, rocks crack, chemicals react. The land is active. It changes every day. The danger doesn't come from bears or snakes most of the time. It comes from the ground itself. Knowing that changes how you walk. You watch the water level. You check the soil. You listen to the rock. You respect the history hidden under the leaves because the mountains have been here a long time and they have plenty of tricks left.